I'm going to wait just for a couple of minutes because I know it takes a couple of minutes for us to there we are. So, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. And it is, what day is it today? Yes, it's Friday morning, the 21st of May. We're still in May. We're still celebrating May. We're still celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Eel and the Rose. We're still celebrating my birthday, if it comes to that. Yes, I know it was 2 days ago, but in my family and in my household, we start celebrating at least a few days before. We celebrate for the whole week. So if your birthday is on a Monday, that means you're celebrating Sunday all the way through to the next Sunday. That's what we do in my house because I mean it's joyful, isn't it? Birthdays are joyful. Now, did you notice, everybody? Have you noticed it? Do we have anybody, Chris? Do we have anybody there? Because I don't see anybody. I don't see any connection yet.
Yeah, no comments, but they are there.
Oh, okay. All right. So for everyone connecting, did you notice that I have a guest today? And we have Christine. Christine, say hello.
Hello.
All right. That little voice coming through there. So before we begin anything else, first I would like to say, of course, that we do have with us, as always, my spirit guide Gregel, who is standing to my right side. We have Chris in Vermont. Yes, Chris?
Yes. Hello.
We don't know whether you can hear or not, but we're having a little technical difficulties this morning. So I have Chris on my phone. So we're sort of hoping that this will work out really well. Christine, would you like to tell us where you are calling from?
Well, I am calling from the Midwest. I'm calling from Iowa.
Iowa?
Yes.
I'm not sure I've ever been to Iowa. I know I've been to the Midwest, but whether it was specifically Iowa, I don't remember. I was probably asleep driving through there. Is it a big place or a small place?
Oh, it is just such a kind place. It's we have a lot of cornfields. If you know the song, I Can See for Miles and Miles. That's what we sing.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Well, it sounds beautiful. Maybe I'll come visit one day. That sounds like sort of really nice and tranquil. Yep. All right. So today, everybody, we are going to be doing the exercise, the bottom brick. And our lovely Christine is a volunteer. Are you crazy to volunteer for this, Christine?
Yes.
Yes. Are you nervous? Are you scared? What are you?
I feel like butterflies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Right, I should be very kind to you, unless I'm not. I should be very kind to you. I should be very gentle with you. But can you tell us why actually, not how, but why did you volunteer to do this exercise, to do the bottom brick with us this morning?
Oh boy. For a long time, I would say going back into probably even before kindergarten, I remember being like a funny person, but I thought I was being, jovial, and right. The things that I would say, people would laugh at, and as I became self-conscious a little bit of the things that I said, because I felt people were probably laughing with me, or at the innocence of a child saying something, but I took it, I registered it as being made fun of, or so I remember in kindergarten, I had split my pants. It was probably just a tiny little split, but to me, I was split like wide open. And so all day I was so scared of being seen and being laughed at for just something that innocently happened, that was, my pants split, So then, to the present day, and throughout different periods of my life, I can recall situations where, say, a teacher put me on the spot for an answer and I wasn't paying attention. And so everybody was looking at me again and I didn't have the right answer. And so I've become very, I've had the pattern of being critical with myself and my behavior, with body image. Um, and then that holds me back from, I feel like it finally I'm at an age where it's like, why should I care what other people think about what I say or what I do? So from that time when I was little, it's just sort of like the wall started building and I hid behind it. And so I just feel like the light, I let it out, and then I let it out and shine when I'm with folks that I resonate with or that I feel see me like for who I am. And then for the other people that I'm either subconsciously judging because they were judging me, you know what I mean? It just is. I think I've said.
Let me just help you a little bit then.
Yeah.
So you feel that when you were a child, you felt belittled.
Yeah.
You felt less than.
Yeah.
Your confidence was shaken.
Yes.
You felt that from being even a small child, you felt that you were being laughed at rather than being laughed with. That's right.
Yes.
This has manifested in you being ultra critical of yourself, right?
Yeah. And a little secretive, like I won't completely, I kind of hold things close and not.
Right. So you don't share.
Yeah.
You don't like to share. Interesting. What about with your husband and with your family?
Well, I think that I feel like it's affected them. I feel like my family is fine. I really, really enjoyed raising my children. So we have a really good, I feel really good about our relationship. The one relationship, and then that has been affected, I believe, or that I see, is with my husband. That I don't feel like when I said that I sort of hold things like this, so when I share things with him, he doesn't understand them, or and I can't quite get over that. Like, that's fine, but support me in how I feel. Like, it's not right or it's not wrong to feel the way I'm feeling. Just go with it, just accept it. And then I think,
wait a minute. You're asking, you want him to accept you, and you want him to accept what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But you are clearly not accepting him.
Well, I'm not accepting me either.
No, but don't turn this around, young lady. What I'm hearing here is that you are frustrated and upset with your husband because he doesn't accept you, or doesn't seem to accept you as who you are, but you are clearly not accepting him either. Don't do that. Would that be a yes or would that be a no? You can argue with me if you don't agree.
Yeah. I that's a good question. Like, I haven't really.
No. It really wasn't a question. It was an observation.
Oh, okay.
Because as you're saying that you want acceptance, you're also saying that you're disappointed in him, that he doesn't understand you. He doesn't seem to get it. Would that be right?
Yes.
And maybe, like you, he's not capable of accepting. Maybe he's got his own wall. So while you are upset, frustrated that he's not getting you, you're also not accepting that he might not be able to do that.
True.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, isn't it horrible when somebody holds your feet to the fire?
No. I mean, yes, but no.
I don't think that you've actually thought about it from that angle, really, have you?
No.
So, let's all right, let's go back here then. Now then, you remember when you split your pants, and you might have thought about this and thought, maybe that's my bottom brick. Maybe that's when I started to get protective of myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
think it stems from you said something very interesting. You were always a funny kid. Your people laughed at you, but there's somewhere in amongst your all of that, when you was being, probably even before you went to school, there's somewhere in those early days that made you feel. Now, it's either a circumstance or a person, and I want to point out for everybody listening in now, this is not about pointing the finger. Whoever or whatever it was that created this uncertainty within you, it's not about saying, well, it's their fault, because if it hadn't been for them. Because very much like your husband, he's this other person who maybe caused this, or went a long way to causing you to put up that bottom brick, that first defense mechanism. Maybe they had a wall also. So we're not looking to point the finger and blame anybody. This is not about blaming. Okay. So you may or may not remember this, but I'm suspecting that there was a part of your life when you were very young. Kids who are funny kids usually bask in that attention. They usually love, somebody's laughing with them, they're making a joke, they're funny, they enjoy it, and so on. So I feel that there must have been either a person or a situation when you were doing your funny stuff. Somebody said something or something happened that made you uncertain, and made you wonder about your own self and who you are. Somebody or something somewhere in that time frame made you put in that little drop of poison, that little bit of uncertainty that made you suddenly feel, oh, I thought they were laughing with me, but they're not, they're laughing at me. Mm-hmm. So can you stretch back to that time? Can you think of a circumstance or a situation or a person who may have said to you something, anything that made you feel less than? Where did that tiny little drop of poison come from? Can you think about that? Let's look at your mother. Okay, how was your relationship with your mother?
It was good. As a child, it was very good.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's look at the relationship with your father.
Very good. Yeah.
He made you feel warm and loved and so on?
He did. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
What about your siblings, your aunts, your uncles? Where are we there?
It would be my sister, I feel. I remember a situation, not so much when I was little. Well, I was little. I don't recall the age, but I remember writing in my journal that she had told me she hated me.
Okay. So, how old were you, the two of you, you and your sister?
She's 4 years older than I am.
Okay.
So it was in completely different times of life. So I was probably 8. So that would put her at 12 or something like that. You know, she was
when she wrote in the journal that she hated you.
No, I wrote in my journal that
that you hated her.
That she told me that she hated me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, so let's look at this scenario, shall we?
Okay.
Here is your sister. She's being loved, nurtured, cared for. She's beautiful. She has loving parents. We've established that you have loving parents, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so she has loving parents, and she's the only one, and she's basking in all of this love and this fabulous stuff that's going on in her life. And along comes you. Right? Loved, nurtured, cared for. Now, let's do a little role reversal, shall we? If you were the older and then somebody came into your life and interrupted this perfect threesome that you have, that you've always been the number one, the only one, the special one. And then along comes this intruder who changes the dynamic of your family life. How would you feel?
I'd be pissed.
Okay. Right. Well, nicely put. So can you imagine then that how hard it must have been for your sister to have this perfect child? Because as a baby you were perfect. To watch your parents who have only ever loved you, who have only ever showered their attention on you. Can you imagine what it must have felt like for this little girl to suddenly have to share? And to share with someone who was perhaps prettier. And as you grew older, that's going to hurt. So prettier, perhaps even cleverer, definitely funnier, who made everybody laugh. You gathered everybody's attention. Now, how do you think, if roles were reversed, how do you think you'd be feeling now if you were the elder sister watching all of this going on?
Well, I can understand her feelings. I can understand how she would feel that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at it this way before?
No, I just chalked it up that it was my fault. You know, that I did something. Well,
it was your fault.
I know.
You're the intruder. As far as she's concerned, Christine, you're the intruder, right? So, yeah. Okay, so you're the intruder. She's really, really upset. And then for the rest of her life, having to fight to make herself heard, to make herself seen. Can you imagine what her wall must be like? If you've got a wall up, can you imagine what hers must be like?
Yes.
All right?
Yeah, I can.
So how painful it must have been for her as a little girl to have to share. And the worst thing in the world is that you were funny. You were the clown of the family. And she was not. So now, how is she going to compete with that? Would you think it's fair to say, because if I were in her shoes and I was feeling really annoyed and really pushed to the side, not intentionally by any means, but this is how she must have felt as a child. Can you imagine that she would do everything in her power to spread the poison
Yeah.
to make you feel less, to make you doubt yourself. Don't think you're as good as, as you think you are, that sort of thing,
Yeah. I feel like I see now that it's just her covering her pain. Yeah. The pain. Yeah.
My heart goes out to her.
Me too.
Really. Because, you are the funny one. You are the clown of the family. Aside from that, you were pretty. You had lovely hair. I mean, geez, she had a lot to contend with, right?
Well, she was pretty. She is pretty too.
Yes,
I don't.
but
Yeah.
yes, but her life, her role in your family, it's been shaken to the core. So of course she's going to come out retaliating. She can't hurt her parents, doesn't want to hurt her parents. You're the intruder. You're the one in the way.
Yeah.
So, of course, she told you she hated you. Why wouldn't she? But I think even before she told you that she hated you, you knew it.
Yeah, I did.
So, okay. So, this first little drop of poison, unintentionally, and
Yes.
coming from a place of pain and hurt, unintentionally came from your sister. This typical sibling rivalry that so many people have going on,
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that and understanding that now, and never having thought about it before, it's astounding to me that you wouldn't have thought about it. But at the same time, we're all so busy with our own hurts and pains, and we're also busy trying to sort of survive in this world that, we don't always know quite how to look or to see where to begin, do we, to fix these things. So now, having thought about it, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that we've hit on the bottom brick, that first drop of poison? Does that resonate with you or not?
No, it really does. And you said that you were astounded I hadn't thought about it. I actually did. She said not too long ago, like, within the last 10 years, she had made a comment regarding my relationship with my cousins and how close we are, and that she always felt left out. And I always just felt that she didn't like me because she never acted like she really liked me or wanted anything to do with me. So
Right.
This makes complete sense. And my heart just aches that for the situation a little bit. I'm just so sorry that and yet I'm so happy that I've gotten, like, now I can, like, my eyes are clearer, that I can see, like, more from my heart.
Okay.
About
Let's take it a step further here.
Okay.
All right, because we're not done.
Okay.
We found the bottom brick. What are we going to do with it? Okay, so let's let's continue on a little bit. Okay. So now we understand that you were the recipient when you were little of jealousy. Perfectly understandable jealousy, by the way. Not necessarily right, but certainly understandable. And also, you have been, as you've gotten older, you've always had that feeling that you weren't accepted by her. So therefore, what's wrong with you? I'll bet you she's always had that feeling that she wasn't accepted by you. What's wrong with her?
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay. So now I have this little, there's a little trembling now going on. I can feel that bottom brick starting to shake just a little bit. Okay. So we now understanding that not only do you have this bottom brick from the result of your sister, but she has the bottom brick from the result of you. So you've both been dealing with this, and because you haven't understood it, you've not been able to talk to each other about it, or you've not been able to put it right, and you've not been able to explain it. Okay. So now, because you have an older sister who, without meaning to, well, actually, probably deliberately in some cases, because she wanted to attack you, not because she's mean, but because, come on, you usurped her, you took her place. It's a perfectly natural thing for her to feel and to do. So she started to make you doubt yourself. She started to make you feel less. Now, I always say people can only do to you what you allow them to do. However, as a child, you didn't know that. So you're absorbing without even realizing you're absorbing this negative energy that is coming from your sister. So now everything that happens that makes you feel less is it becomes worse. Now there's another break, and then there's another break, and then you split your pants, and now there's another break, and then you have an upset with your husband, there's another break, and then he doesn't understand you. Well, there's another break, and then another break, and so on, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I think here, well, let me see if you can figure it out. I like people to be able to figure these things out for themselves, because when you can figure it out for yourself, that tells me that you really get it. So I'm going to help you to figure it out. But what do you think? What do you think these bricks are made of? If they were made of emotion, what would we name them? What are you looking for in your life all the time? You are looking for one thing and one thing only, which you never received from your sister. The one thing that's missing in your life, you got it from your parents. You got love, you got attention, you got something else as well from them. You certainly got attention from your sister, but you never got this one thing that you've spent your entire life looking for. Your children give it to you because it's a matter of course, and you're obviously a wonderful mother because you have a good relationship with them. So they give it to you. What is it that other people, that you strive for from other people, that makes you question yourself and that you're not good enough? Why should you care about anybody else? What is it that you are seeking? What are these bottom bricks built on? What are you looking for?
Love.
No, because you got that in abundance. Your husband loves you, you know that.
Well,
He
with
doesn't
my
necessarily love
sister,
you
I
where you
wish
want to be loved, but
maybe it's acceptance.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's the word. So all your life, wherever you are, wherever you go, you know, this, am I thin enough? Am I dressed properly? Do people like me?
Yeah.
And all of those questions, simply because you had a sibling who couldn't, because she didn't know what she was doing, she didn't know how, couldn't give you acceptance because you were the usurper.
Wow.
I don't doubt she loves you.
No, I don't either.
But I also don't doubt that she sometimes gets angry, because she does, because she really would rather not.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that you made her feel less. Not intentionally, but by being the clown, by being pretty, by your parents giving you, you know, not everything, but as much as they could. You know, she was the only one. Be fair, she was the only one. All of that attention was meant for her. And now she has to share it, which is really not fair. And because of your parents' inability to see what was going on, because of their inability to recognize this sibling rivalry, or if they did recognize it, had an inability to know what to do with it or to how to deal with it, it was never corrected. It was never made to feel better. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I feel like there could be situations in my own life with my own children that I didn't see to help correct maybe some feelings
Hey,
they'll have. Yeah.
Christine, we're all mothers. We all get it wrong.
Good.
We all get it wrong. I mean, I'm lucky. I have a very good relationship with my daughter and with my grandson. But, oh boy, you know, there have been times in the past when, you know, we've sort of, you know, we've had our issues. Come on, that is normal. That's natural. So again, we are not pointing the finger at your parents. We're not saying if they had recognized it, it wouldn't be like this. We're certainly not pointing the finger at your sister, bless her, because, boy, she had to struggle all of her life, now being usurped and feeling second best to you. This little darling baby who comes cooling into them, and then when she gets older, she makes everybody laugh. I mean, come on. What would you feel about it if the roles were reversed, as you said? You would feel a little upset, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So we've got, I think the wall's coming tumbling down. How does it feel to you?
It feels good. It feels, I keep shifting in my chair because it's just like, choo, choo.
Does that mean all the pressure's coming off?
Yes, I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now, good. Okay, now because we have to deal with this, because you have a husband who is lovely.
Yes, I do.
I know this because Gravel tells me so. So, you know, so you have a husband who is lovely and he loves you, but I know that he has got his wall and he's had his issues. I know this. I think he, like you, is just simply looking for acceptance. And not only are you critical of your own self, and that's, you've got to cut that out because that's ridiculous. You know that now, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So, boy, are you critical of him.
Yeah.
Now, I'm getting this from the Grey Eagle. So you can't blame me if I start now to be a bit mean to you. I'm not going to be mean to you. We're never going to be mean to you, but we are going to call a spade here.
I want you to. Yep. I want you to. Because
you felt all this uncertainty for all of your life and you've had this, you know, desperate need to be accepted, and he doesn't seem to accept you in the way you think he should. And you've had all of this frustration. He makes a great punching bag.
Yes, he does.
And you know absolutely that he loves you.
Yeah.
And here's what happens very often, and it certainly happened in your case, young lady. The more someone loves you, the more we feel we can abuse them, we can punch them, we can criticize them, we can, and so on and so forth, because we know they're never going to leave us. Be careful, because, you know, I always say love is like a weed, right? It'll grow anywhere. In your husband's case, it can sometimes grow through concrete. It can go through walls that are, you know, inches thick, feet thick. But if you try really, really hard, you really work at it, you can even kill a weed. So I'm cautioning you. Push too hard and you will lose him. He may not go away on a physical level, but on an emotional level, he could leave you. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Has he left me already?
Pardon?
I feel like he may have left already.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, because Greg will tell me if, but we're warning you.
Okay.
Because, you know, that could happen. And instead of looking at what you have done or not done for him, you're looking at what he is doing to you. He is not accepting me.
Yes.
So were you, when you and your sister were little, did your parents spoil you? Did you become a little selfish? Did it become a little bit about, if I'm the clown, I'll get the attention? Be very careful.
Yeah.
Right? Be very careful, because it's not just about you. And if you want your marriage to get on a better footing, let me ask you this question. I'm doing this in front of everybody. It's not fair, but you volunteered, and I'm intending I'm intending on making things good for you if we can possibly do it. I can tell you what these things are, but then you have to take the actions to make it better, right?
Correct.
So when was the last time you put your arms around your husband and you said, I love you, just because you could?
Well, last night.
Good.
Yeah. But like before, but actually probably not put my arms around him. It was more like a kiss goodnight. I love
you. See you. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep now. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't count now, does it?
No.
Because that's you doing it by rote. You probably do it
Yeah.
every night.
Yeah.
Shall we ask the question again? And I'm saying we because Greg was having a little chuckle here now. Christine, and for all of you listening who have lovely husbands or lovely wives, when was the last time you put your arms around your husband and you gave a heartfelt, I really love you? When was the last time you did that?
That's a good question.
Don't remember, do you?
I don't.
Well, now your husband has his own wall. You have yours, which is coming down as we speak.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
coming down. He doesn't know how to deal with his wall. And he doesn't, and aside from the fact that he's a man, all of you men listening, I'm sorry, but men don't say it first. They wait, men don't know how to do this. We women are naturally nurturing because we are the child bearers after all. We can do it with our children, it's easy, but we should be doing it with our husbands as well, or our wives, whichever. Men don't always know how to do it. Women naturally know how to do it with their children. And now I want you to sort of put your children to one side a little bit. I'm not saying discard them. You understand that?
Yeah.
But you really need to move them to one side because they're old enough now.
Yes.
They're good. Now, what I want you to do as soon as this is over, you know what I want you to do, right?
Give him a hug and tell him I love him.
No,
Oh.
no, not give him a hug. No. I want you to go out there, put your arms around him. I want you to say, I just want you to know I really, really love you. And I'm sorry for those times when I've treated you like a punch bag.
Okay.
Now, if he pushes you away, it'll only be because he's really hurt and he also doesn't know what to do with all of this emotion. This becomes a big shock to him, right?
Yeah, it will.
You do not take it personally.
No.
Because if he pushes you away, you've deserved it.
Yeah. And he won't.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, every day in every way, you need to tell him, because he's looking for acceptance. That's all he wants. He wants you to accept him. You don't need his acceptance anymore because you know where this bottom brick is coming from and you know what you've been doing and you know what you've been doing wrong all of this time.
Yeah.
Because of that silly bottom brick. Not so silly, because it creates massive problems, doesn't it?
Yes.
But you have to now give him what we're giving you. We're giving you love and understanding. We're giving you the chance to just be yourself and to grow. Now you have to pay it forward. And I want you to give that to him, because he is your partner. He has always supported you, even if he doesn't always understand what it is you're talking about.
True.
He is emotionally behind his wall. But the more you tell him you love him, and the more you show him acceptance, and the more you have fun with him, and the more you allow him to be his self, and the more you stop criticizing him and nagging him, you are a nag. Right? The
Yep.
more you stop nagging him and bossing him about, you don't need to do that anymore. You know that, don't you?
I do.
Because we've discovered you're lovely, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to worry anymore about who you are, because you are lovely. And now you have to be lovely enough to show him that he's lovely too. All right. Is there anything? is there anything? Is there anything you want to say to us? Is there anything you want to share?
Well, I think this just means so much, and I appreciate it immensely. It's not always hard. It's not always easy to see what you've been doing, you know?
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Remember that I said to you, this is not about pointing fingers.
Okay.
We're not pointing fingers at your mother or your father. We're not pointing fingers at your sister. And we're certainly not pointing fingers at you. It's just something that is, and it's something that has grown over your life, and it's something you've held on to, and you felt that pain of because you didn't understand why you weren't accepted by your sister. Because especially as you've gotten older, it would have been great to have had that great relationship, wouldn't it, with your sister, but you didn't.
Yeah.
And because she didn't what? She didn't love you enough, or she didn't accept what? You didn't know, did you?
Yeah, I didn't.
But now you do.
Yeah, no, I know.
And working on her as well would be a good thing. And inviting her to come over and telling her how much you want to be a friend to her.
Yeah.
Maybe even showing her this video. I want you to watch this. Tell me what you think. Right?
Yeah.
Sharing. You can maybe even share it with your husband.
Maybe. No, I will.
Christine.
I will.
Christine.
Yes.
That I could feel that wall starting to come up again. Now stop.
Okay.
You know, here is going to be your problem. And it's going to be a big problem, but you can overcome it.
Okay.
Things become a habit. The nagging has become a habit. The criticism has become a habit. The not sharing your feelings has become a habit. The not sharing your whole self with your husband and showing him who you really are, it's become a habit. Hiding behind the wall is a habit. It's like smoking or drinking or whatever habits, nasty habits, we've all got them. But this is so important now. It's really important because, you know, as you go into your older life, your later life, you've got a perfect man to share it with. You've got a perfect husband, a perfect partner to share it with.
Yeah.
Or not.
Right.
And if he removes himself from you completely emotionally, you know, your old age is going to be so lonely.
Yeah, I don't want that.
So there is a perfect reason to break the habit.
Breaking the habit.
Now, before we go to questions, is there anything else you want to say to you? You're okay. I want to take a deep breath. Just be happy. I always make everybody cry. Don't worry. It isn't just you. It's everybody. Is there anything else you'd like to say to us? Because we are going to have some questions and comments, and if you'd like to, you will have a chance to answer them.
Okay. No, I'm just so grateful. You're right. I'm gonna process it, and I'm gonna take steps. And it's I'm not gonna put some pressure on me to have it perfect right away. But I have this to come back to remind me. Just let go. It's okay. Everything is perfect just as it is. Yeah.
Good. Well, it really is.
Yeah.
You know, I told the story a while ago. I'll tell it for you briefly now. The day that I went out for a walk and a butterfly went around and around and around my head. And I'm looking at it thinking, gosh, how perfect, how beautiful. And then it landed on my sweater and I looked down and I saw that one of its wings was badly torn. And I heard Grey Eagle say, not perfect, but yet still beautiful. All right?
Yep.
Applies to you. All right, Chris, I'm going to have to talk to Chris on my phone because we've lost sound for whatever reason. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this works. Chris, so how are we doing with comments now?
Every comment for Christine is very supportive, and there are a number of people who are feeling this applies directly to them.
Yay.
So they're thanking you, and they're all going back to their spouses, and they're going to be wrapping their arms around them. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
You see, Christine, you've inspired people, you see? Yes, go on, Chris.
We did have a minor glitch, which I want to thank anybody who was watching, where we were suddenly bombed by some people that really took over the chat room, but yet our folks stayed straight and we fixed it. And so who knows what this chat room looks like at the end of this video.
Okay.
Everyone's saying, thanks, Rosemary and Christine. Good job. You're very brave to do it. So great, Rosemary. It's wonderful how you put things so the recipient hears you. Christine, you can sort this out and make the necessary changes for the betterment of your life. You know the holes to patch now. I admire you and will tell you, when you share this, it has so much energy to enter the hearts of those watching. God bless you. And that was from Bridget, who's gone through this exercise like you are going through it.
Hold on one minute. Can you hear Christine?
Yes, I can.
Okay, keep going, Chris.
This is hitting home. I have tears here too. The hubby's future has changed for the good. Wow, lots of love to you, Christine. Very beautiful. Thanks for volunteering. There's a man that's been walking in the background throughout, and people are wondering if that's your husband.
Yes, it is. we ignored him while we were filming. We've ignored him, but Christine, you're not going to ignore him.
No.
Right. Good. Okay. Keep going, Chris.
Counselor Rosemary is the best there is. And then Christine, your demeanor has completely changed. I'm rooting for you. Keep breathing.
Oh, nice. That's a nice one.
Yeah, so that's as much as we can sort through all the other bombing that happened during the live. So. Okay.
Well, the bombing was on your end, as far as I can see, and Chris, I know you've got the attention on the cameras. As far as we can see, it didn't affect us at all, and it's not affected what we're doing. You know, we have to deal with sometimes people who are, well, they're hiding behind their walls, aren't they? They've got issues, serious issues. People who want to come in and disrupt or destroy what we're trying to do. We're not going to be critical of them. We're going to just say, we hope you get help. So, Christine, all right. So let's come back to you. We're going to obviously end this program. Is there anything else that you would like to add Is there anything else that you would like to say to anybody out there listening?
Boy, I guess what comes to me right away is just take that step. You know, this for me was a huge leap because before the call started, Chris had said, just don't worry about nobody's watching, you know, blah, 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 you know, and I can see this little thing saying how many people, and it's a little like, ugh. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? This is real. This is what's happening in my world. And if it can open up somebody else's world to another perspective, another view, then so be it. You know, I'm still here. I didn't dissolve. Um, you know, love and understanding and forgiveness, that goes a long way. So
Right.
I am going to do that for myself, for the behaviors that I have, my choices.
Don't point the finger at yourself.
No,
Don't give
but
yourself a hard time.
no, I'm just saying that I'm going to take responsibility for what I have created, and now I'm going to take you know, I'm going to make the choice to change it. That's what I mean by that. So yeah,
I love that. And I love that you've said, I'm taking responsibility, because so many people just want to point the finger and blame everybody else, which is what I say whenever we do this bottom brick exercise. This is not about pointing the finger at other people and blaming other people. It's about, okay, let's look at what happened. Let's see why it happened. And when we sort of went down to the exercise, we began with your parents and with your sister. It was immediately obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, but recognize it and then know what to do about it. There's two different things, aren't they?
Yeah.
And also, sort of, you know, it's a shame because there's so much sibling rivalry that goes on, and I see it all the time. And if only people would allow me to come into their homes and say, let's do the bottom brick, kids, and let's see what's going on here, it would solve so many things. But I think also watching and you being as open and as lovely as you have been is really, you can see by the comments that we've had today, you can see that people are saying, oh, you know, they're applying it to themselves. They're looking at themselves. They're thinking, wow, you know, maybe that is what happened to me. So you're inspiring so many people by sharing your story with us. Thank you. Christine, I would like to say thank you so much for coming on the show. It's over now. You can breathe. You can relax. Would you believe that we've been doing this now for an hour? Does it feel like an hour to you?
No. Time. Thank you so much. Are you glad
that you did it?
Yes. I knew, unconsciously, I knew that I you know, that I would, it would be a good thing for me. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I
thank you for your time.
Thank you for trusting me, and I thank you for being willing to share this with everybody.
Yes.
So in closing, I'd like to say to everybody, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, whoever it is that you have issues with, everybody out there, whether it's yourself or someone else, do something nice for yourself. Christine, do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for those people who are close to you. Don't forget, I always say to my students, you know, it's all very well saying, as you do every night, I love you, good night, and off you go. It doesn't really count. If you don't show it, and I tell my students this all the time, if you don't show it, they don't know it. So words are really nothing. Actions are what are required, especially in this situation. So for all of you out there, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to thank Gregor for always being here and giving me those little tidbits about you, Christine.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you to Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for being there and for setting this up for us. And especially, of course, Christine, thank you to you, and most especially to all of you who join us. Tomorrow, there won't be a story time because we are doing our webinar and Gregor is going to speak to us. I can't wait. If you still, or you didn't know about it and you still, I think there's still 1 or 2 tickets left. go to our website, rosemaryaltea.com, and you can click on the webinar and it'll give you all of the information there, or email my office, Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com. If you'd like to volunteer for something, we're going to be doing at some point, I'm going to be showing people the 3-chair exercise. Yes, it sounds like a nice, easy exercise. It sounds like we're going to have fun. It sounds a little bit like musical chairs, but it's a tough one, let me tell you. So we're going to be doing that. So it's been a real pleasure for me. Again, Christine, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And for all of you out there, will we be doing an off-the-cuff stuff today? We may be doing off-the-cuff stuff later on, or we may not. But hey, you know, it's my birthday month. It's our 25th anniversary celebration month. I think that means I can do whatever I want to do. Yeah. And Christine, you can do whatever you want to do today too. Oh, yes. There's going to be a lot of loving in your household. I hope. So until I see you again, everybody, please, all of you, have a very, 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 very blessed day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.